Hi everybody, I'm just going to show you my boat, my new boat, which I purchased not long ago. It's a Steber 22 fiberglass semi-displacement cruiser capable of 20-25 knots. It's around 2005 build. 2005. I got it second hand. It's got had a few scuffs on it, but nothing too bad at all. You can still get them manufactured, exactly the same model, present day. Got a good price on this, so I just thought it was silly not to go ahead with it. Got some front lights front there, got a windscreen wiper, anchor light on top, antennas. It's got a nice canopy. The canopy is quite new on the back. It's got a dive platform. And that thing on the far left hand side is a shower. I've got a dive ladder as well. So we'll just take it on board. I'll show you inside. It's carpeted. It's got a where my feet are right now. There's an access hatch to the rudder and the fuel tank for inspection. It's got some fold down seats, which if you've got passengers on board, they fold down. These wooden ply seats there, some cushions that go on top of there. It can carry quite a few passengers. I'm not entirely sure, but she's 22 foot long. She can carry quite a few. What else can I show you? It's got a seat, it's a steering wheel. It's got a Volvo Penta control there. It's got a fuel monitor. It's got a dragonfly, 7-inch dragonfly. There, it's the kill switch. Turns off the engine. It's the throttle there. This is your battery positions. It's got 2 house batteries. It's in the off position right now, but when you want to start it, you flick it up to both. There's your automatic bilge pump, which sits on. You've got your various nav lights, radio wiper, water system, cabin lights there. Got USB ports there as well. Compass lives here. You've got a radio at the top, window screen wiper, cabin lights. What else we got? We've got a sink. Underneath the sink was a calorifier, which is used as part of the engine cooling system. And that's fed from a bowser in the front, which holds, I think, 55 litres of fresh water. So you always got to make sure you've got some fresh water for the engine. That hot water from the calorifier, that goes and feeds the shower, but it is very hot when the engine runs. The temperature in there is very hot, so be a bit careful with that. A automatic bilge pump in that, sorry, not automatic, a manual bilge pump in there in case of an emergency situation. The batteries live in here. Make sure they're charged up before you head off out. What else have we got? We've got a fire extinguisher there, toilet in there, and a cabin in here. Some seating and storage for fishing equipment in there. Mind your head up there. Windows to slide open, both sides. That one's in the open position right now. Speakers, It's got a speaker. There's your CD player just there. Canopy. These roll up, so you can leave this up if the sun's really hot. But if you want a bit of sun, you can release this one, and you can slide it right back, so you can actually get some sun there as well. I'll show you the engine. It's a Volvo Penta MD2030. It's a 2005 model, or it was used in first used in 2005. So it's getting on 14-15 years old. The process we're starting it is there's a lever just down here, which is your through hole water, and that's in the off position. So you flip that up, that lets water in, and this water is used as part of your the process through the engine and out through the exhaust. So this is a so this is an alternator. That's an alternator, and I believe that charges the batteries up when it's running at 60 amps. So that's quite fast. So that's reasonably fast. My battery charger, I think, is 4 amps per something or other. So it's very slow. It takes like 24 hours, 48 hours sometimes to charge these batteries up. But that was on offer. That was a very cheap one. That was $100. I got it for like $50. So I just thought it was just, you know, it takes a bit longer, but does the job. In here is your impeller. So that spins around and pushes water up through into the heat exchanger, which is here. Okay, if there's any sometimes these, I think after 100 hours you have to replace these. So, and what can happen, these can disintegrate, and bits can fly off and come into this system, and sometimes they will lodge themselves in the heat exchanger. Now you can check to see that if if you're not sure what condition this is in, you don't want to put a new seal on this, that and the other, you can drain out some of the coolant, release this here, pull out the heat exchanger, and you'll be able to see in the holes in the heat exchanger if there's any bits of plastic and stuff like that. So that's that. In here, the coolant is in there. Some antifreeze coolant goes in there, all in the system. Put your oil in here. You can check the oil here. Make sure the oil is always half. Well, as long as it's within the dipstick has two measures, low and high, and as long as it's in there, it's deemed okay. So mine's just over half. So this is part of the fuel system here. Fuel injectors here. What else can I quickly show you? This is an MD2030, so it's deemed 30 horsepower. So it's actually quite good on fuel economy. It's actually 1.5 litres of diesel per hour, and it's got a 60 litre tank. So that gives it a range at 6 knots, about 11 kilometres for every 6 knots. So that's it's something like 40 hours worth of engine running off one tank. So that's the equivalent of over 400 kilometres. So it's got good range. All right, it might not be the quickest, but it's very economical if you just want to go out and do a bit of fishing. What else can I show you? That is a secondary fuel filter. I think that's a fuel pump. That's the oil filter, and that is the primary fuel filter just in there. This is the air intake, this thing here. Those things in there are your relay switches. That's your exhaust manifold. So I could go on a little bit more, but it's that's pretty much what it is. It's a Volvo Penta. It's actually a Perkins engine. It's made in England. It's off a Perkins engine, but it's sort of sold as a Volvo Penta. Very popular. Lots of parts everywhere. Feels very reliable. Yeah, it's a sort of engine where you can do a bit of research and do a lot of the work yourself, if you're a bit of a hobbyist. So anyway, so that's that. So I hope you enjoyed my video. Just give you a little bit of an insight to what a 22-foot cruiser sort of looks like. And yeah. Okay. Thank you for watching. Over and out.